Hello to the nearly 21,000 people who have subscribed to this channel. Today in Foundry, I'm having a bit of a crisis already. Now, during my live stream, we put all this out and it took a long period of time. I've also been clearing out all that over there so I can level the ground over here so we can build this factory section out. Now, I know it's a bit dark. Unfortunately, this game's got a night cycle. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's the joys of life. So, after doing all this and then building my set of stairs up here to actually look at it, I realised how much of a mess I've really made. Now, for you guys, it's probably not that bad. For me, this is a nightmare. And the reason why is because it's not gridded off properly, it's not where I want things to be, and so on and so forth. So, I've got to redo all of this before I can move on to my next plan. This is what I'm going to explain to you now, and I'm not going to put you through the arduous process of trying to understand the way I think, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make this a bit more simpler for you guys to do. Everything here so far is the basic processes of what we make in this game. Basically flooring, conveyor belts, and the assemblers, right? That's pretty much all of these processes here. Now the downside, some of the belts are a bit off. The way I placed them out last night was a bit off, and I genuinely sat there and just went, no, I don't like this. So I'm going to basically redo everything in front of you, and then we're going to build loads and loads of storage containers, which are these. Now, the reason why I need to build the logic containers is because I need it to step forward into the next process. Next process would be to go from bare elements to the next string of elements and to go from there. So I actually have storage boxes for the conveyor belts, the flooring and everything else, so we can build more en masse. And then we just move on to the next process. Now, when it comes down to research, I have researched everything but research level 2. I have not stepped into research level 2 yet, or science pack level 2. The reason why is because, well, I'm not doing it just yet. So I'm currently stacking up. This will just keep working over time, and it will just keep making them. It means that next time when we go into stage 2 and I need like X amount of this, I should be quite prepared for it. This whole process of me having to redesign everything is my demon and my demon alone. But genuinely, you guys should be okay when I've done this. I'll explain all the processes when I'm done, and then I'll come back to you. So hopefully when I click my fingers, all this will be sorted out. To the untrained eye, I haven't done anything. To me, I've done stuff, right? So bear with me whilst I explain what I've done. First off, I know, very small, very petty thing, that every single one of my intakes, apart from this one, give me a second, I have to do this because brain works this way. So, there. Cool. Now, every single one of my intakes on this side of the conveyor belt is on one side of the shed, all right, which is the storage container, right? So it's a shed. Now, so what I've done here is I've rearranged all the basically conveyor belts so it's a little bit more of a simpler process to follow, and they all come out right at the back here. These are my bits and pieces for the creating stuff. This is my copper, this is this, this is this, and this is this, and this, and this. We're okay, and it's all right. Now, the one thing I needed to do was to actually build more storage boxes. So these little darlings down here, the logic container 1 recipe, I need X amount to do, X amount. I need to create them, and in order to create them, I needed the specific parts. Now, I've let the build run for a little while, which means we're all sort of caught up and we're all okay. And the other things I needed to do was to build mechanical parts, and I also needed copper wire. The reason why is because these take electronic components. Now, some people would go, well, why don't you just take your electronic components off of that line and then belt it all the way over here to over here? This is because I am me, and I do not do this. So, in order for me to make electronic components, I need to bring in my electronic component thing. So I need the technium rods. Now, technium rods come off of my main conveyor belt, which is here. As you can see, I am sort of using them by making this copper wire in the first place. The plus side to that means that all I have to do here is basically belt off of here and run a conveyor belt down one side to here, and then I'll sort that out as I go. Now that would be an output, so we click this, and there you go, more technium rods. And then what we need to do is we need to bring in another creator. I'm going to call them creators because, well, they're creating things. I know it seems a bit strange that I had to place it just like this, but this is what I need to do. So first off, we need to configure this into these. So we need the xenon plates, electronic components and bits and pieces. Now, the problem with this is I need to build the electronic components. Electronic components are created by the copper wire and the technium rod. So the technium rod and the copper wire is going to... Actually, we need to bring this out here. I boned up a little bit. I need to get it so both of these are looking at one thing. So it needs to go back 4 spaces. And the reason why it needs to go back 4 spaces is because when you put 2 of these like nose to nose, which is like this, takes up 4 spaces. Yeah, output. Cool. And then I need to build more of these. So this is why I need to automate this process as well. Because if I can automate everything in stage 1, which is basically all the main things that I'm going to use for creating things, then we're okay. So these are going to be my next things I'm going to have to make as well, which is fine. I don't mind. And there we go. So that can now be moved into creating electronic components. So all of these processes are all for one thing. All of this stuff, which is really strange when you think about it and how much effort you have to put into actually just building a bog standard logic box. Guess what you need? 4 different things to create, or 5 in this case actually. So I need to bring in my plates out somehow. Now the only way that I can do this is because of space being fairly limited right about now. What I would normally do is I'd start shuffling these around, because I can bring this to this to this, take that off the belt, spin that one. So that was all plate, so we'll put that all back in there. Chuck it on there. Cool. So that's going to be an output, and that's going to be an output. I know, I don't do things like normally. If we bring that to there, we should be okay. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit funky. So I need the output from these, the output from this, and this going into one box. Now I don't have enough space to go 4 from like this side, so 1, 2, 3, 4 would actually bring me to here, which means I don't have enough space until I get right back here. So I want it to be in the center. This is where it's going to have to be a little bit more like conveyor belty here, because I can't make things fit. I am not a magician, I am just a gamer. So we'll do that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I need 3 more intakes. Oh, I need 1 more because of that one. I need an outtake here as well. I need 1 more. It all starts to make a little bit more sense when you start wiring it all up, and it actually, oh yeah, it does work. Yeah, it does. Right. So conveyor belt straight into that one, conveyor belt straight into that one, and conveyor belt straight into that one. And now we click on here, and now we can make self-containers. I need another output. There we go. So all of those processes alone, literally, just for that one thing. And this is why, when people go, it makes no sense to me. Yeah, for me, this makes more sense. I do 1 row for each thing that's going to be made, because then it all works for me. I'm not doing this for anybody else. No one else is playing in my game. This is for me to do. Now, that's just how it is. Unfortunately, for the way that I do things, this is how I do things. If you ever watched me play Factorio, I did the same thing on that. And that's what this game more reminds me of. It's more Factorio with a little bit of Satisfactory. People look at the graphics and think it looks a bit more like Hydroneer, but gameplay-wise, just think Satisfactory versus Factorio, and then you're in that perfect mindset of what you're actually doing. And it's all right. So all of that is now creating. We're all good. And I'm not sure about my power outage, so let's check my grid. Grid is doing all right. We should be doing completely fine. Now I know I'm not doing the most like powered I'm not doing the most sort of like conservative power thing where I'm using all these different processes to do one thing. Most normal people would probably just have a massive conveyor belt for the plates, and they'd be like, I just need to do all this, and then it's all plated up and it's all good, and that's fine. For the way that I do things is, once I've got a full container of stuff, that process stops, which means I'm not constantly working. So all the power just drains off as well. And that's okay as well. So the next big thing, because I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different processes all being made, and I could, if I thought about it, could get the copper out of there and bring it down here, which actually wouldn't be such a... Oh no, I can't because I haven't got enough for it. I don't have enough space. That's fine. I'll get copper wire out of somewhere else. I mean, I've got all of this stuff here. I can mess around with that. And there we go. The first section of storage completely finished and all good. So that's fine. That's all good by me, and that means it's all going to work, and the world is a better place, basically, from here. And if I get any like orders and I need to do something else, then I can just branch off of here. You know, I can go up into different levels and go from there. And that for me is like, it's like a hub for all my stuff that I need for like moving forward in this first section. Now obviously moving forward in the first section means that I'm going to have to, you know, start researching into the second section, and in order to do that I literally have to come over to here and I have to push this button, well this button, no, not that button, that button, and I have to push Science Pack level 2, and then when I click the button it's going to take a little while. But because of all that time that we've been building it up to 100, it means we've been covering ourselves, and this is good. It's going to take a really long time. And there we go. So that is the first load of processes and everything that I needed doing. That's basically as much as I need to actually do, and yeah. This is the problem with like the way that I do things. I'm not basically just chuck it all out and hope. I try and do things in a sort of weird manner where it makes more sense to me. And if all of my conveyor belts are just running around like this, where I'm able to make stuff constantly and it all starts to look okay, then it'll be fine. And what'll happen is that when all this gets to a point of being full, then all of this will back up anyway, and I'll just have a good supply of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this run for a really long time, and then when I come back for another video or a live stream, I've got enough here to go through whatever. Now the reason why I put these containers in was just because of like picking up random bits and pieces. So things like biomass I can put over here as well. We can put that in there. I can put my spare dirt in here. I was going to put some other stuff in here, but I'm not sure where. I'm not sure where the other seeds have gone, unless I randomly plant. Oh no, there they are. Take those, put them in there, and we're all good. So yeah, this is the idea now, is just to like keep things rolling and keep things going. As said, I'm going to leave this running for a little while because I've got a lot of stuff doing now, and it's going to take a little while to like drain it all through and like refill it and do this and that and the other. So all of that's going to be done. I will be happy, and the world will be a better place. If you guys want to see any more of Foundry, I'm either going to be live streaming it or I'm going to be making videos. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because this is sort of like the continuation from my live stream. After I basically came off, I was like, I need to sort a few things out, and I want to show the people what I'm doing as well. So if you have enjoyed this, I'll see you all in another one. I want to say peace out, have fun, enjoy everything you guys do. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you back in another one. Until then, boom, fist bump to you. And let's see if we can get to like 21,000 subs. Be cool though, wouldn't it? Catch you later.